Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gentleman's Debate. It's myself, Simon. We've got Sam and Mickey. And today we're going to be covering a plethora of different topics. There was a lot of boxing and MMA action this weekend. So we'll be covering some of that. And we'll also have another segment of the funny news articles. And we have our fine videography assistant, Joshua Simpson behind the camera, who's going to be basically working the computer for us so that we can have a bit more of a free flow conversation for you guys. So, gentlemen, should we begin?
How's it going, everyone? How are things? Right, so what's the first kind of topic that we're delving in today?
So I watched David Hayes' Haymaker Ringstar Promotions boxing night that was on Dave.
Was it any good?
No.
It
wasn't really that good, if I'm honest.
Did it flop?
Well, I don't know about... I can't tell you like the viewership because obviously I don't work for Dave. Dave, you can always, if you need anybody, just let me know. Yeah, it wasn't great, if I'm honest.
It wasn't great. Dave, hi,
Dave! Elaborate, what was it? Was it badly put together? Was it...
What I think basically...
Is it the standard of fights?
David Hay has made his own promotion. It's called Haymaker Promotions, which he's basically working now with Ringstar Promotions, which is an American promotion. And basically what's happened is they did this promotion in the Indigo in the O2 arena, and the actual content of people, like the actual like fighters that appeared, was a bit like, for live TV I was a bit surprised that they were there. So you had they had three people up there, so that was I made notes. That's how professional I am about this stuff. They had three of their stars were competing. So it was Michael Venom Page from MMA. Yep. He competed first. And then they had Joe Joyce, who was a silver medalist in the 2016 Rio Olympics, I think.
Yeah.
He's a silver medalist, definitely. Some people say he should have won gold. And then you've also had Willie Hutchinson, who is a Scottish boxer who basically is the only person to have won the European and World Amateur Boxing Championships. The only Scottish person to win all of that. So very talented. He's a young kid as well. He's like 19 years old. Oh, wow. So I will go in the running order. So it was Michael Venom Page versus Costano. Costano had a record of 2 wins, 11 losses. Michael Venom Page had never competed in boxing. So he was 0-0. But obviously Michael Venom Page has a big following in the MMA world because he's quite a polarizing figure. If you want to find out why, all you need to do is go on to Michael Venom Page's highlight reel. And basically, I was a bit surprised by how... Because Michael Venom Page did knock him out. So he did knock him out with a beautiful right hand. It was brilliant. But the Spanish bloke wasn't up to the standard in my opinion, or that should have been competing, if I'm honest. Because he didn't offer really any offense. Like, Michael Venom Page is a very unorthodox style with his striking, because he comes from like the sort of point sparring kickboxing kind of thing. So it's like very floaty in your arms, kind of. His guard was down like by his legs. So he wasn't like, he didn't have like a boxer's guard high up against the side of his head. He basically was in a bladed stance. So like a bladed stance is like you're side on to your opponent. You literally are physically side on. So your feet aren't pointing in a normal sort of orthodox stance. With one foot your front foot is pointed at your target. That's where you're striking. It's that your front foot is side on. Your entire body is side on. Kind of like a Philly shell kind of style of boxing. That where they kind of cover up in the body, the front arms protecting the body. But his arms were right down. And he was bouncing about in that bladed stance. He's throwing like jabs and corkscrew uppercuts, and he was throwing... and then eventually caught him with a right hand. But it was an early stoppage, in my opinion. The referee waved it off early because the guy, he knocked him down. And then he answered the 10 count, but then the referee waved it off. So I think it was a little bit of corruption there, to be brutally honest.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that was that could have been a rigged fight.
I'd say I would have loved to have seen it, but from your description, I don't think it would.
I was hoping
that
for a bit more
good.
because David Hayes, like, you know, he knows what he's doing with boxing. Promotion wise, I think that there needs to be a bit more work on it because like some of the stuff was a bit bad. Also, what was really bad was when they did when Costano was going into the ring. I don't think he got to pick his walkout music, and they had Viva la España, you know, Viva España, that song.
That sounds the most cheesiest thing I've ever seen.
Basically, they try to make it as racist as possible.
Oh.
It's horrendous.
Is David Hay like in charge of it, as in like
David
the
Hayes,
producer?
yeah. Well, the awkward bit,
producer.
really awkward. He's the promoter. So the really awkward bit about it was when they opened it up. They had the ring announcer was like, oh, and now we have David Hay. Oh no, it was like, we'd like to thank the promotion. And they went on for ages, Mr. David Hay, and then they introduced David Hay, and he went, oh yeah, I'm really excited for this fight, and everything like that. I was like, I didn't like that. He was like the main, like what he's doing is he's using his notoriety and his popularity in the world of boxing to be able to try and create that promotion.
You know what the biggest issue I think with that is? David Hayes, because he's the promoter, but also such a big name, he's surrounded by yes men.
I'd agree with that.
So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna play this really cheesy ass racist music. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Well, it's a
Don't push me in the face.
It's a 2-11 fighter. Like that's a 2-11
Yeah,
fighter.
well, I think in general people must have not been that into it. Like he couldn't have attracted big names, so he's like, I'm just gonna go with this kind of thing.
So MVP, like I think, because MVP Michael Venom Page, I think really needs to stick in his wheelhouse when it comes to MMA. I mean, it was interesting to see, but when like they had
He's
also
trying
had,
to capitalize on what Conor McGregor's doing and like stuff like that.
yeah, the
going
crossover
into,
fights,
Yeah.
the crossover
he's-
fights to
but
try and
he's-
make more money.
Yeah, seems like a very like weird attempt
Yeah,
for it. It's like
what I would
he
say,
picked an untested promotion.
what I would say is it's a good way because it was only a 4-round fight, so it's only 4 rounds, so it's not like he's even fighting any more amount of time than an MMA fight.
That's a weird amount of time for a
Yeah,
boxing
because
match.
it's a rig. That's what they do in boxing. A lot of people don't know this. Is you hear people like, oh, he's 30-0, he's undefeated. But what they do is in boxing is they pad your career. So at the early stages of your career, they'll do like these 4-0 fights. Yeah. It's not like they've done 12 rounds of 3 minutes. That's not what they're doing. They're doing 4 3-minute rounds. Mm-hmm. So you have loads of, like as an MMA fighter, that's 12 minutes of fighting. That's nothing compared to like a 5-minute rounds are totally different.
Yeah.
So,
and especially with MMA, which is more taxing in terms of like when you get to jiu-jitsu and you're trying to do takedowns and stuff like that, you basically wear yourself out.
It's when you have 5 minutes of fighting, it's totally different.
Can you imagine MMA fights at 12 rounds? Flipping hell, I wouldn't understand.
He wouldn't go the distance.
Yeah,
it wouldn't. There'd be no. He wouldn't.
Maybe Nick and Nate Diaz, if they were kind of coasting, might be able to get to the end of it.
No, but that's it. We proved that point when we watched Conor McGregor take on Mayweather because he was gassing after the first couple of rounds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his
he
energy
had
system is
nothing in
totally
his
different.
tank.
Because when you think about it, Floyd Mayweather grew up and basically has conditioned his body, and his body was conditioned to just punch as much as possible.
Yeah.
Whilst Conor McGregor, he came into it and has to do so much. So when he conditioned his body and basically developed his body, he had to be able to grapple, able to punch, able to clinch, able to kick. He's got to basically be able to do everything. And his energy system then has to change to do one singular thing, and also the short rounds as well. So basically, you do 3 minutes of maximum output, and then in that minute rest between each round, then you've got to basically restore your back. So it's like, you know, the analogy I gave in one of the other podcasts about the nitro thing when you're in need for speed.
I've got another analogy in terms of that. It's like the cheetah and the human. You think the cheetah can go 70 miles an hour, but it's like very fast paced. It goes very quickly, but it can't run long distances. So it overheats very quickly. So theoretically speaking, the reason why humans were such good hunters is we outran pretty much anything.
Yeah.
We could just keep going. And even horses, horses are already exemption from it, but most animals, we could just keep up and just keep running them down. So a cheetah, eventually, if we just kept chasing it, it would be like, fucking motherfucker.
Well, that's why you can do...
we'd eventually catch it.
That's why you can
Cheetah just going there. Will you just stop?
Leave me alone.
I don't want to be your rug in your cave.
Yeah, so that's how they're made.
That's why you see you see marathon runners like, oh yeah, we can run 26.4 miles. Then you hear ultra marathon runners, and you go, oh, what's an ultra marathon? One of the longest ultra marathons on the planet is 211 miles.
Is that non-stop or is
Non-stop.
No.
I think you only rest to sleep.
Jesus.
There is like basically it's a continuous running race.
It's like that guy that's like got this weird genetic mutation that basically.
Doesn't feel pain.
Well, he doesn't produce.
No, he does, but he can't feel it.
He can't. Yeah, his body gets rid of lactic acid quicker than it can overwhelm his muscles. So he can theoretically just keep running if he's got food.
I'd love to have that. I hate the buildup of lactic acid.
Well, he
Horrible.
apparently he says the most dangerous thing is when he runs for super long distance is he doesn't know that there's any pain, so he doesn't know when to like slow down, and then
Right.
and then also he has issues where he falls asleep running. So he'll like if he's doing an ultra marathon,
Yeah.
he'll just fall asleep mid run.
I can never
And he can
imagine
just
myself falling
collapse.
asleep whilst I'm running.
Because there's no like because
Just be that
the only thing he's
relaxed.
got is it's taxing his cardiovascular system. It's not taxing any of his lactic system.
Yeah.
So he's not having to move the lactic acid from the muscles and bloodstream, or he doesn't feel the pain of it. So he can just power straight through it. It's an interesting thing.
That's
but-
why we're such good hunters. One, we worked in packs, and two, we just kept running. So it's that whole thing with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, boxers and MMA fighters. They're conditioned. It's not like they're different type of people, but they're conditioned, and they've got better skills in either fast-paced, fast-twitch muscle, go in and just try to tear your opponent apart, or keep them at distance and just keep going for 12 rounds. So that's going to be the biggest issue when you actually conjoin the two. But if boxers go into MMA, in my opinion, with jiu-jitsu, with ground game, with Greco-Roman
It's
wrestling,
not even.
and stuff
I
like
wouldn't
that,
even say
not-
it's a. I think even a debate would be that if a boxer went into an MMA match, they'd be absolutely obliterated very quickly just because of the grappling exchange, which has already happened. Randy Couture fought I can't remember his goddamn
Yeah, I know
name.
what you mean.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a boxing
Yeah.
champion. All he did,
Well, at the
Randy took him
weekend,
down.
Heather, is it Heather Hardy?
Yes, I sent you that.
Yeah.
Heather Hardy is a women's boxing champion, very very decorated.
She was undefeated.
Yeah, and I was going to move on to that Bellator. She got obliterated by, what was her name? Kaylee Williamson? Something Williamson.
I
Karen
can't
Williamson,
remember.
something like that. Oh, I'm going to show you the clip in a bit. But basically what happened was they were fucking throwing like hammers at each other. They were throwing everything at each other. But the problem is that Heather Hardy is a very boxing dominant, because she comes from the world of boxing. She's very boxing dominant, so she wants to throw power shots, basically.
Yeah.
Whilst Karen Williamson, she had a much better range of kicks and punches, so she would flow them together well. And when she cracked Heather Hardy
Shin, wasn't
with
it?
a shin bone
Yeah.
to her nose and then basically obliterated her
yeah,
nose.
her-
Dr.
her-
Stoppage broke her nose because the blood was just dripping down pouring out of her face. It's
Her
horrendous.
face was broken.
Anyway,
Wow.
segueing back to the David Hay thing, because the MVP obviously he got the win, which is he got a spectacular win as well. I know he's renowned for his showboating as well, so he did a lot of showboating. So I was like, okay, fair enough, right? He did knock him down, but I think it was an early stoppage. But would he have then knocked him down later on, and then it would have been a complete knockout? Probably. So I could say like he won with quite good conviction. Then we moved to the Joe Joyce, I think it was Ian Lewison fight. Yeah, Ian Lewison, sorry. Which was interesting because Joe Joyce obviously has quite a bit of pedigree because he won a silver medal in the Olympics in boxing. He competes at heavyweight, or super heavyweight, I should say, sorry, which is the same weight that David Hay competes at, and Anthony Joshua. In fact, Joe Joyce and Anthony Joshua used to train together in the
What's
Olympic
super
camp.
heavyweight? What's the weight for that?
It's in the UFC, that'd be just heavyweight. I think it's like 240 plus pounds, 260 pounds, something like that.
So I'd be a super heavyweight then.
Big boys.
Mm.
It's in Joshua's last fight, it was 17 stone something.
Yeah, I mean, we could just find out super heavyweight weight category in a second. We'll get Josh to just Google that for us and tell us. But yeah, basically, like that fight was quite a good one because it's very technical. Ian Lewison is renowned. Ian Lay 'em out Lewison is renowned in
That little face there, just
He's renowned for his aggressive style, and also he specializes in knocking people out. He did take the fight on 11 weeks' notice, which means he probably didn't get a full training camp. But 11 weeks is still a lot of time. Like for an MMA fighter, 11 weeks is a long time.
You can condition yourself in 11 weeks.
Well, this is a problem. I don't think he was very well conditioned at all because Joe Joyce is. I think and David Hay kept saying this. He's like, he's got a great engine. He's got a great engine. Yeah, he does. He does. Damn well does. In the later rounds, Joe Joyce is very like, he's in the beginning, he's quite like measured. And then the later rounds is when he starts putting out a lot more combinations, etc. Do you have the...
Super heavyweight in MMA is 265 pounds.
So in MMA, can you do it in boxing, please? 200. So in MMA, I didn't know this is actual weight category. Super heavyweight is 265 pounds. But the normal heavyweight limit is 240 from.
200 for boxing.
So 200 pounds is super heavyweight. What's the
Yeah, because as far as I'm aware, that David Haye is actually 95 kilograms, which constitutes about 200 pounds.
Interesting. So there's monsters out there in the UFC. And the MMA
what's
world.
the word? Contra Nelson, he's pushing.
Big Country Nelson. You
Yeah,
mean?
he's pushing 250, 260.
Yeah, because
pounds.
like you look at like Brock Lesnar, he and
Overeem,
Mark Hunt, they have to cut to get to the limit down. So they have to go because the heavyweight limit, the max limit for heavyweight is 260 pounds for the UFC.
But that's the cut for it.
So they have to cut down because they're like almost 300 pounds. Like Brock Lesnar is a fucking massive man, so he has to cut that
He's like
weight.
6'2".
He's massive. Just that Viking DNA. It's insane. But
Suppose that with the boxing though, it'll be 200 plus, won't it?
he should be 200 plus.
Yeah, because remember Butterbean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also Joe Joyce is 6'6". It's a giant man.
Jesus Christ.
Giant man. So what happened basically was it was a 10-round fight. So it wasn't like a soften up fight. That was a full 10-round, like a normal constitute. So non-championship ones are 10 rounds in boxing, and championship ones are 12. Basically, it's 10 rounds of 3 minutes. So that's half an hour of boxing. It's an insane amount of time to fight. But basically, in the beginning, Ian Lewison had quite a lot of power, but then it diminished over the rounds as it went on. But Joe Joyce basically just stuck to his jab. He just set up the left jab and used that as a platform to then
That kind
build.
of sounds a bit boring, to be fair.
That's the way of boxing, unfortunately. He did stopped him in the 8th round. But there's a bit of issue with it because like Ian Lewison had an issue where he was wearing a groin guard, like the big boxing groin guards that they wear, which is like big, massive padded thing, and then you have your shorts on top of it. Because obviously you're not grappling, it doesn't really matter. You don't need a low profile groin guard. And I don't know how it had happened, but it kept riding up, and then the doctor was having to come in. Sorry, the referee was having to readjust his shorts all the time, and it got so bad to it was like the 6th or 7th round. He had to like tape his shorts round, so he had like tape round his shorts, holding it in position, so his groin guard wasn't riding up anymore. It's ridiculous. Also, what happened was in that fight, Joe Joyce I think clipped Ian Lewison in the eye, so it got him right in the eye, and his eye started to swell up, so he didn't have depth perception to be able to see the shots coming anymore. But eventually, Joe Joyce put it more. Got the stoppage in the 8th round. So a good testament to the fact that he had and Ian Lewison did pose a threat because in the early rounds, Ian Lewison wants to just put you away. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to knock you out, and to be honest, that would be the way of getting at Joe Joyce because he's he is a slow starter because he keeps a continual pace. So like people would be like, oh, he puts more out on the later rounds. Well, no, he just keeps the same pace all the time, and in comparison to somebody who blows early, puts all their effort out too early, he obviously has a much better energy system.
Would you say in terms of technical, is it defensive? I guess it depends on the fighter, but Mayweather's got a very defensive sort of fight style. Keeps them at a distance and basically picks them away. He's got really good reflexes in that regard. That's the same as Klitschko. He did the same, but then you've got Anthony Joshua who just goes in there and all their planning just goes out the window. You can
Once
just
you
kind
get
of
touched by the fist, I know, because the yeah.
Well, wasn't Mike Tyson that said you have all
Once
the
you get
plans in the
touched
world?
by the fist.
Yeah,
Touched by the fist, ladies and gents, and a Saturday. But yeah, like Mike Tyson, he said like everyone's got a plan to get punched in the face.
yeah.
But it's like when you think about but Joe Joyce was the aggressor. He won all the rounds. Like he won every round. He was the one who was hitting him continuously in the face with the jab. And Ian Lewison kind of didn't really. He got 1 or 2 punches through, but it wasn't like game-changing punches that would be like that would swing the round for him. Like it was dominant because what all Joyce would be doing is as soon as he'd just be working the jab, basically working his left hand a lot. So jab, lead hook, trying to keep him at distance, try and wear him down. But then anytime Lewison got on the inside, he would then shell up, defend as much as possible, and then would just reset and go back straight to the jab. And then he started letting his other hand, his right hand go as well. And other combinations, like a more varied punches started coming out as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was, I think that was the main one, if I'm honest. I think that was the best fight, the middle fight of the night.
But in general, the entire promotion, you would say, wasn't that
It's not good. It wasn't as crisp as like a Showtime boxing event or even like a PBC boxing event.
It seems like it was just his first time, and he's got scraped a few fighters together. He's kind of like done a few mistakes. So the key is, will he keep going, or will he be like, oh no, this was terrible viewership?
Well, I think I'm going to give you the last fight of the night, which was Willie Hutchinson versus Attila Tibor Nagy, who was I think he was a Hungarian boxer, a bit of a journeyman, basically. It was waved off in the opening rounds. So basically, this is where I think it was a bit dodge, in my opinion. Willie Hutchinson, very, very good amateur boxer. This was his first pro fight. 19 years old. He looks good as well. He's a very handsome chap as well. And he was fighting this guy. And from the way that you saw the fight happen, I mean, first of all, Willie had a vast array of punches for like a good, and you could see the technique behind it. But the Attila guy was just shelled up instantly, but he was shelled up in a way that looked so like he was bent over, basically, fully bent over, and then then the referee came in and stopped it. And it was like, hang on, like in my opinion, there was no decisive flush, like fight changing blow. It was like, and there wasn't even like body shots. I thought that like would have doubled him over. So I think something happened where Attila was maybe asked to, not put up much of a fight for old Willie. There's only a 4-round fight as well. I don't know. I was skeptical. I had proper skeptical hippo eyes on that. Right. Proper skeptical hippo eyes.
Because I was throwing fights.
Well, this is the thing, like, because he didn't. Because when the stoppage happened, he wasn't like fuck off, like, because the Castano guy, because he answered the count, and he was mad when it was waved off. Like, he was super mad. That guy didn't react at all to when it was waved off. He's just like, yeah, okay.
Oh no, I don't have to keep getting punched in the face.
I was a bit like,
take my money and go.
Also, I think they were running late as well. Because it was 2 hours, so it was from 9
Someone's not going to throw a fight because they're running late.
I don't know. It was just sketchy as fuck. And also, I feel like it was trying to help build Willie Hutchinson's career. I'm not taking away from what Willie Hutchinson does, because he's a fantastic boxer. But it wasn't like watching the best of the best.
I think David Haye cocked up in the fact that, how old is he now? In his 30s?
He's getting old,
and he's trying to get into promotion. What he should have done is lent his name to an already established promotion, put them up, use them to get the TV deals with Dave and stuff like that, and then contributed instead of planning the entire thing.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Unless he's done that already. But if he's done that already, he must have picked a pretty.
So be the man behind it, but not be the man who runs the entire thing.
Yeah. You're the expert at one thing. Like, usually
you're the expert at boxing. You're not the expert at running a business.
Exactly. It's a completely different ball game. Dana White tried it out as boxing.
Well, look at the best way I put it is look at Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is is he the manager?
He's the promoter.
He's the promoter for. Well, he's a promoter for.
Hearn. I can't remember what.
Yeah, but he's the
isn't something.
It's Anthony. He does Anthony Joshua, doesn't he?
Didn't he inherit it off his dad?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he inherited it off his dad.
I'm not sure, mate.
But obviously, he's taken it to whole new levels.
Yeah. Doesn't he?
He's got his fingers in so many pies. Like I said last week.
Is it Anthony Joshua who manages?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Dillian White.
Yep.
There's other people as well. He manages a load of fighters.
Doesn't he have George Groves on his card as well?
Yeah. Think so, yeah.
So how can David Haye possibly compete with that sort of fight card unless he manages to somehow get someone that's like properly?
Because it's Dave.
He manages to get like a McGregor.
It's because it's Dave. I think Willie Hutchinson could
Dave
be
in general. They made all their money by rerunning Top Gear, and
yeah, that's what they do. And now they're trying to do original content. So that's what they're trying to do now.
they're
But
trying to. Well, the thing is, that's how they got their business model up, and that's how they started making money. And then from that, they're basically trying to branch into creating. That's what Netflix bought out a load of shows, and now they're trying to create original content. They're losing $12 billion a year, but they've got like however many million subscribers, so investors just keep throwing money at them.
Yeah,
So the goal is to grow, get people to watch your stuff, and then when you've got the platform, then your entire goal is basically to just create your own stuff, and then you're taking away from the production companies. You're taking money from anywhere like that.
I get what you mean, but it's just like I was a bit disappointed with it. I was hoping it would be a bit better. I thought David Hay was going to institute more of like a kind of. I thought it was going to be a good alternative. It was free. So it's obviously free boxing action on Dave.
I don't know about David Hay.
It gets the casual fan in. I think that's what he was going for. He wanted to get the casual fan, so he wanted to get the crossover, especially to do with MVP. So like he'd bring all the MMA fans would go, oh, all the British MMA fans would probably support MVP in some way. So they probably would want him in. They'd be like, oh, MVP's fighting. Oh, he's on Dave. Dave is free. I will watch that. That's kind of what they've done, and then they kind of wrapped around all the other stuff to do with boxing. Then you got all the boxing fans would watch it as well, or record it because it's free. But like, it didn't really like.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It could have. I think if they'd done other fights similar to the Joe Joyce Ian Lewison fight, instead of the spectacle fights or the kind of bit dodgy ones, the early stoppage ones, etc. I think that would have been like if they had like 3 Joe Joyce versus Ian Lewison fights, that would have been good. They also had Chris Eubank Jr. doing some of the commentating as well. Not commentating,
right.
Sorry, the post-fight kind of breakdown stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was having to be quite measured, like really measured. Like you could tell, like he was kind of looking at it like, all right, okay, because there was a thing because MVP competed at boxing's middleweight, which is not anything like UFC weight categories, by the way.
Yeah.
But he's going to drop down to... So he was competing at light heavyweight. He would drop down to super middleweight, which is what Chris Eubank Jr. competes at. And Chris Eubank Jr. was like... Before he was like, better not drop down. Better not drop down to this weight category in my... Because the guy, one of the main presenter, saying like, oh, it might be a future clash between you two. I don't know. Chris Eubank Jr. is another level, like as a complete other, not another level. Sorry, he's like 10 levels above in terms of boxing. I mean, he holds a championship belt. He's competing in the World Super Series of boxing against. Is it Groves next? Yep. He's going to be competing against
Venom
Groves.
Page.
No,
it wasn't.
Chris Eubank Jr. is competing against George Groves. Who did he lose to? Who's George Groves lose to? Is it Carl Froch?
Carl Froch, twice.
Yes, and Carl Froch is now retired.
8,000 people at Wembley.
Yeah, he keeps banging on about it, doesn't he? He doesn't let anybody fucking let that go. Even though now Anthony Joshua's sold out more.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
I do like Carl Froch, though.
Yeah, well, his commentary on the McGregor versus Mayweather fight was a bit shit, if I'm honest. Because I had him and Dan Hardy, and I was like...
No, but yeah, a lot of people were getting quite irate about Froch's commentary on the McGregor-Mayweather fight, but I agreed with him. It was such a disappointing piece of crap fight.
Well, what did you expect? It wasn't going to be like a spectacle of brilliant boxing. That's what Canelo Gunny Golovkin was going to be.
That's what they sort of built it up to be. Like it was really going to be this amazing
I didn't expect that
big
at all.
thing. I didn't. I expected Mayweather to walk it, which he did, but.
It's interesting when you look at the stats.
A lot of people would have been brought into it.
When you look at the stats,
the hype of
it's interesting to see that it was that Conor landed more punches on Mayweather
than Pacquiao,
than anybody else. Mm-mm. Than Pacquiao did, and more than Canelo did.
But they didn't do anything.
That's the counter because Mayweather said, "I'm going to put him away," and he did. He was walking him down through the rest of the fight. The only thing you can have is that Conor McGregor landed one good uppercut in the first round.
Yeah,
that was it.
I think that was it. That first round wasn't actually a bad round.
He won that round.
Went,
on the cards,
I'm going to go for this.
On the cards, I think McGregor would have won that. But the problem you got with boxing is it's a flipping dirty sport. It's a super dirty sport because everyone's got their fingers in each other's pies, basically. Like Eddie Hearn has got his fingers in pies pretty much everywhere to do with the world of boxing. But then you look at what happened with the Canelo Gunny Golovkin fight. Gunny Golovkin won that fight and was fucking his win was stolen because of a flipping because a judge was flipping so corrupt. We knew she was corrupt, and it was like, what's her name? Like Andy? No, not Andy, or something ridiculous. Just some stupid name, but she scored it in such a way that basically it handed Canelo the win, and that's because he's a Golden Boy Promotions fighter. And Golden Boy basically were the ones who organised the whole fight between him and Gunny Golovkin. So the promoter...
Didn't Golovkin win it?
No.
I thought Golovkin did win it.
No, it's Canelo.
Why
So
don't they have it this way in boxing? Why don't they have like a big pool of like about 10,000 people who are signed up, accredited, and they rate the fight?
So I've said this before on the podcast, where what they should do is retired fighters should be given the preference of all of the commission's jobs, because it's what the issue they've got is they get basically not civilians, because that's not the correct term, but they have basically people who have, one, never boxed or competed in MMA, two, they do it across them, so you have people who are boxing judges and you have people who are MMA judges.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who are boxing judges can do MMA, and the ones who do MMA can do boxing, which is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Third of all, these people are often, there's a little bit of, especially in boxing, there's a little bit kind of, maybe the body punches do more in this fight, mate.
But that's the case. That's the case if there's a couple of judges. What if there's 10,000? You can't go up to like 3,000 people and just be like.
Well, I think the problem is then you'd have to employ 10,000 people. So you can't.
Well, it wouldn't be employing 10,000 people. It'd be just 10,000 people watching a fight.
Well, I don't think you should.
Scoring
I don't think you can have that, because then you're going to have... If they're accredited and everything like that, maybe, but then that's 10,000 people you need to accredit.
That's okay. Like,
even
that's a
1,000,
bit of a
even
over.
100, like, it's too much. Basically, but if you had three... you need an odd number of judges. So you need an odd number. So the first odd number you come to, except for one, is 3. Kind of makes sense. So if you put it up to 5, do you think you would increase the accuracy? Maybe. That's what they do in the Olympics. Olympic diving has 5 judges.
It would decrease what happened with Canelo.
The likelihood, yes, but no, it might not, because it means now you've got more judges that you can sway. So if you know, but
like some people are unswayable and some people aren't.
Some people are, but most people aren't. So you can sway most people. If I go, here's 50 grand, because this is the thing. Well, this is what they do, right? This is what they do. The promoters take them all they take all the judges and referees for dinner before the fight, and what they do is they have a conversation. And they talk about the fight, and they go,
that should be banned.
Yes, it should be, because in the Olympics you're not allowed to give gifts to any of the judges, any of the officials, and a lot of officials have been done for corruption, and it's the same in FIFA as well.
Yeah,
for that sort of stuff. So the issue I've got basically is what it should be is it's ex-fighters in boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu. It doesn't matter. They're ex-fighters, so they have been at the pinnacle of competing. They have preferential placement on being a referee or judges or cornerman or promote, like anything that is inside of the promotion. And it also means that you're going to keep the... Imagine if Chuck Liddell was the referee for the UFC headline fights. You would fucking watch that, because you'd go, hang on, this entire thing is going to be refereed by Chuck motherfucking Liddell.
There'd be no kind of people giving talkbacks and shit to the ref, because it's Chuck Liddell.
Because it's Chuck Liddell. He goes, I know exactly what you're doing. You're cheating. Or I know exactly what you're doing. You're doing a illegal technique. Or no, the technique he did was perfectly in line with regulations. Because most of the people who become champions
they have to
are
train,
fucking smart. They're smart people.
It's not even being smart. You have to know these things in order not to get in shit, not to lose points.
You need to know, and you're told, I'm not to put the existing referees out of jobs. That's not what I'm saying. So like some of the referees that are now, like Mark Goddard, Big John McCarthy, etc.
Big John McCarthy.
Herb Dean. Very good. They've become the top of the line of referees. They are the top of the tier, because they know that they've made the best decisions. But some people who have entered that place, who've done this sort of refereeing, Mazzagatti, for example, how many mistakes has he made? And also there's no, for judging and refereeing, there's no recourse, there's no consequence of them making a decision, like making a wrong decision, basically. Mm-hmm. There needs to be you made a wrong decision, we're going to fine you. So you're going to get fined for making a poor decision. The woman who basically scored Canelo versus Golovkin, so skewed towards Canelo, there needs to be like, okay, that's wrong because it's completely different from the two other judges. It's too far a discrepancy. We're going to do a forensic search of your bank accounts and find if somebody's paid you for it.
Yeah, but you could also put the money within. You can do so much with money.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. But what I'm saying is there needs to be much more. There needs to be consequences for judges and referees, and there needs to be much more open and transparent stuff to do with.
There needs to be, but who's the people? Who are the people in charge of making
the
sure
athletic commissions? And the athletic commissions are the ones who probably don't want to change the status quo because they're in power right now. But you look at an MMA promotion like One FC. One FC. There is no promoter. There is no commissioner. There's no commissioning board whatsoever. So it's not like the Nevada State Athletic Commission. It's literally the promoter is the commission. So they decide the rule sets, they decide the referees, the judges, they decide everything. The guy who owns that company decides the rule set and everything like that. So he brought back, like, for instance, like Pride style kicking somebody in the head when they're on the ground, which you're not allowed to do in the UFC. He brought that back. Loads of people got injured, and then he went, "Oh, fuck it, we'll have to get rid of it. Can't do that."
It's probably the reason why I was put into place in the first place, is because people got injured.
Yeah, people got fucked up.
If you kick someone in the head when they're down.
Roger Huerta got fucked up when he got kicked in the head when he was on the floor. So soccer kicked, basically. He got his face fucking kicked off his head. He might as well have, anyway. But yeah, so going back to the sort of the David Haymaker flipping ring star promotions, I think first event, they sold the tickets out, apparently. They sold out the Indigo, which is a small place anyway, so...
Where was it?
The Indigo O2 Arena.
Oh,
so
right.
the Indigo is a smaller room inside the O2 Arena.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a bit like... I want to see the next one and see what that would be like, and then I can
Yeah, it might have been a case of just getting all the mistakes out in the first go, seeing how, laying the groundwork, and then going, right, here's what really worked, here's what really didn't, this is what we need to change.
Chris Eubank Jr., by the way, good analyst. I like him. Very composed. He talks like his dad, where he thinks and then he talks, but he's not got the flamboyance. He's not got the same flamboyance.
Does he talk like his dad?
You can kind of hear it. Just the little hints, of it. Because he does talk. He doesn't have the kind of. He doesn't have that.
He doesn't have the.
He doesn't have the flair.
The flair. The Junior is not quite.
You were waiting.
In the same.
You were waiting for 45 minutes to do that.
If you do it all the time, the effect will wear off.
But it was good in terms of Chris Eubank's commentating. David Hay, I'm not a big fan of him as a commentator. I'm more of a fan of him as a boxer. I like him as a boxer because he's quite an exciting. Like every fight he has, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Like there's not David Hay fight
until he injures himself in some abstract weird way.
Well, when he fights, it's a fight. It's not like a. All right, Tyson Fury.
It's not like a
Klitschko.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a good fight.
No.
David Hay, Klitschko. Bit more exciting. Even though, he lost, it's more exciting. David Hay, Bellew. Yep. Exciting. He has exciting fights. As a promoter, I think he needs to go and emulate somebody like, because he's obviously trying to emulate a Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Who is his own promoter and he's the boxer. But he has a business guy who works with him, who helps him basically run it as a business.
Yeah.
But Floyd Mayweather basically just does all the fucking funds it and does all the shit talking and acts as a personality, but realistically doesn't really do much in the way of actually like...
But that's how businesses are done. You basically get what you're good at. You get someone else who's good at things that you're not good at, but would be good for the business. And then before you know it,
yeah, I just think
you work together. If you say, right, I'm going to do the promotion, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you're basically spreading yourself too thin. There's things that people are better than you at, and I think it's hard to admit that as a championship boxer.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, actually. His ego might be interfering.
You've got to say, right, I'm good at raising fights. I've got a brand name. I've got this. I've got that. I can talk about the fights. You're good at business analysts. You can market. You can do that.
I do like David Hay. I really do. I always have been a big fan of David Hay. But David Hay's ego getting in the way of something? No, I don't believe it.
Yeah, he's got a big ego.
He's got a very, very big ego. Yeah.
He's a big guy.
It's kind of one of the things that I do actually like about him. But
I lost my respect for him. But
when?
Yeah.
When
he was basically getting interviewed and he said, "Oh, do you get a lot of fans coming up and asking for your autograph?" And he's like, "Yeah, but they have to earn it. They have to earn it. So they can either A, if they want an autograph, they can do like 20 push-ups. Or if they've got a bird, I ask, can I snog your bird for an autograph?
When did he say this?
He said this at an interview in I don't know if it's 8 or 10 Cats or one of those what are those shows.
What are the Channel 4 chat shows?
Yeah. And I was like, that's the moment that I was like, fuck off.
Yeah, I enjoy his fights. He's an exciting, polarizing.
He's a good fighter. Like I can't.
Obviously, he's a good fighter. Because
I can't
he's fucking got.
dismiss his skill or anything like that. And I liked
cruiserweight?
him up until that point, but that's when I kind of went off him a bit.
I think he's the undisputed cruiserweight champion, and then he was like he was a super heavyweight champion.
He went for the WEC,
Yeah.
but he couldn't beat Klitschko for that. He tried to unify the belts. didn't he?
WBC.
WBC, yeah.
Fair enough. So yeah, that was the David Hay event. Then I watched Bellator, which we'll cover. So Bellator was on the Friday. I think it was on the Friday night because the UFC was on the Saturday night, and it was Bellator 185, and it was. I enjoyed that. It was a good event. It was. I think there were some fights on there I was a bit like, oh, because some of the women's fights there was a bit. Basically, there wasn't that much. The first women's fight wasn't very interesting, in my opinion. It's very like, but that's because of the lack of experience, realistically. Like in women's MMA, it's because it's you got combat sports. So like in terms of sports that people watch, not a lot of people watch sports anyway, but they mostly watch like football, American football, rugby, like, soccer, etc.
No,
And
don't
then-
call it soccer. Don't ever call it soccer again.
All of the
I
different
will
people out there.
quit. I will quit if you call it soccer again.
Don't make me say it. But then you got all that, and then you got the subset who watch combat sports, and then you have another subset who will watch like MMA, and then you got the subset that will watch women's MMA, and then think about that's the subset of audience. Now think about of the fighters.
Yeah.
So women's MMA, you can easily get into women's MMA quite easily now. Like it's not that.
I don't know. I
difficult.
think I'd struggle, to be honest.
Well, we would. Sorry, we would.
I don't know. I would like to see Wiki.
Wiki. Is that the male? Sorry, the female version.
Mickey.
That's the female version.
That's the female version of Mickey in women's MMA. That would be funny to see.
I don't know. I think
It's Wiki Dimitrievski.
I think if I kind of got a sex change, they couldn't say no to me.
Oh, they had that issue with Fallon Fox.
I just go in and just be like, I'm a woman.
So there was a guy.
Can I compete in the 135-pound division, please?
There was a guy who had a sex change, and he was competing against women.
Yeah.
Or sorry, she. I should say
And she won everything, and then they realized she was a man.
The piss out of loads of girls, loads of women, and then she fought a very good quality woman who had not had a sex change. And she got beat the fuck up on. Even for
Good.
like
That's what
she
you
got
get for being a
fucked up.
Oh.
But this is I think that's an issue that obviously we'll be talking about next week around about
Yeah, because it's how do you sort of
gender identity,
Yeah.
sex identity, equality. I mean, you need to measure it. Obviously, we're measuring it in the
'cause a
pinnacle
lot
of combat
the way-
sports.
Yeah,
The prism of combat sports.
That's going to be very.
it's going to be tough to
interesting.
regulate.
Yeah, you
Um,
can't. I think that
Yeah, because
It's-
you get people. You do get people nowadays who, genetically born as a male, who just say no, identify as a female, but they don't, do the transition or whatever, and it's just like, but you can't
Science.
compete in the women's division. Then.
so. The Olympics won't let you.
Science can save
If they-
it.
Yeah,
I always say
exactly.
if the Olympics won't let you do something, then you need like there was that thing where there was a female 200 or 400 meter sprinter who was competing in the who was like world champ, like very high level, and there was accusations saying that she was going for a sex
I
change
remember
to
that.
be a man.
Yeah.
There's accusations that she was basically taking testosterone and doing that to become a man.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's a bit unfair, just because she looks a bit more. She has more masculine features. She that's just her DNA. But everyone in the Olympics is doing something.
Yeah.
Must be on some form of performance enhancing drug.
Let's take a look at it this way,
Wait,
for
what?
example.
Must be.
Let's say if
What,
someone.
in the Olympics?
Oh yeah,
Why?
have to be. Look at Jamaica, right? Jamaica, I'm sorry, was not renowned. It's not like it's renowned for being a sprinting.
Bold
It's not renowned.
statement.
It's never been renowned. It's not like the best country for sprinting.
Yes, it is though.
Now it is. Not all of the time,
Yes, because
But do you
they've
see
developed now.
the
Skeptical hippo eyes. That's what I'm saying.
Did you see the program that they did on Usain Bolt?
Yeah.
And basically they went, no.
Drugs.
And they went out and they just went, yeah, it's so weird because his actual
Frame and gait.
No. What's the word for his technique? His running technique is terrible. He's just lightning fast.
They don't call me Bolt of Lightning for nothing.
You know what?
It's not Russian.
It's his.
Hello, my name is Usain Bolt.
It's his top speed because he's like 6'4". His top speed is very, very a lot
well, his
more
stride
than anyone
length
else.
is 10 foot.
Exactly.
He has a stride length of 10 foot.
If you notice, when it starts, he doesn't run that fast. Like he doesn't get left behind at the line, but he's not the fastest off the line. But when he gets up to top speed, you just see him just go, and the rest seem like his.
I like how you guys are like, oh no, they're not on drugs, but 100% everyone who competes at the Olympics is doing something.
Isn't there like rules and regulations to stop
there is.
this type of thing?
There is rules and regulations. WADA tries.
The fuck
why
was
did you do
that
a Texas accent?
I'm just trying to liven things up. We just talked about fighting for the past hour, so I'm just kind of trying to liven it up.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a chicken. You're going to tell me the chicken nugget thing, aren't you? Yeah. So basically, when he could.
1,000.
So he walked down and
Getting that protein.
He basically anyway. The reason why I'm saying this is because you can watch it. There's a documentary called Icarus, which is about the Russian state-sponsored doping situation that happened in the Sochi Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the entire track and field team. They won 13 gold medals. Would you like to know what happened to those 13 gold medalists? All of them were stripped.
Yeah.
All of them have been subsequently stripped of their medals because they were found to be doping. And what they found was that the Russian state were breaking into WADA's establishments in Russia and were changing the samples around. This is why I'm saying everyone's on some shit. I'm not saying it's state-sponsored.
Just because an entire government is in a doping scam doesn't mean that everyone
I'm just saying,
is doing
man,
it.
everyone...
Because then obviously Russia wouldn't have got the gold medals. Because if everyone is doping, and Russia were caught to be doping, and they got the 13 gold medals...
Yeah, they got them all rescinded. They were stripped from the gold medals.
Surely if everyone was doping, they wouldn't increase the amount of
yeah, but
medal
they let... What they did... What? If you... So, hang on. What I'm saying is it's a state-sponsored thing. So that means that the entire system, so all the drug system, so like instead of it being like how it is in other countries where it probably is the individuals are trying to do
I
the
know what a
steroids.
state sponsor.
But the state sponsor means that all of the states research and experimenting into fucking these drugs is put into the pinnacle of the best athletes that country can produce. So basically it's rather than like the best athletes that come out of America who just happen to take some random steroids or something like that. It's like when you ask, if you've seen the interview with Lance Armstrong where he talks about doping in cycling, he says everyone is on it. And Jeff Nowitzki, the guy who caught Lance Armstrong, said, yes, we know everyone is on it. We just can't prove it yet. So that's why now they store samples for 7 years after you've won a gold. Everyone, even if you don't win, they still store your samples because they will then retrospectively test those samples, and they're finding more and more stuff, which is how they're able
you can
to
always
strip-
rely on human beings to cheat their way to the top.
What they should do is just have the normal Olympics where, you know, it's all regulated, and, you know, they do have these things where they're testing people, and they should just have like a whole new sort of competition.
Where's that
where
pride
it's
in what you do, though?
The steroid Olympics, where it's just like, yeah,
juice
everything
Olympics.
goes. You
No,
just
but then people-
put whatever you want into your body and fucking go for it.
People will still want to get into the regular Olympics because people will try to do any sort of advantage to win. And this is why there's like no pride left in like, oh, I'm going to win a medal because it will make me feel good. No, I'll win a medal so that everyone likes me.
So I can get a sponsorship deal with Puma
So I can make loads of
and
money.
Virgin and be best mates with fucking Richard Branson.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that... I don't know. I cannot factually say that Usain Bolt is on a performance or was on a performance-enhancing drug when he competed. However, what I can say is the vast majority of Olympic athletes are on some form of performance-enhancing drugs that gives them an extra edge compared to their other people who do not have any form of performance-enhancing
And this
drug.
is the thing, if you're not taking it, you're not winning anything.
That's what Lance Armstrong's thing was. He said, I took stuff like EPO and all sorts of other drugs that would increase his performance to still be competitive against other people. So he wanted to level the playing field. Other people were taking performance-enhancing drugs in the Tour de France, but he knew that he had a mental drive that no one else had to be able to push through intense amounts of pain and intense amounts of physical endurance.
How long before people figure out a way to like basically genetically modify genes so you don't feel pain anymore?
Oh, they can already do that. They're doing it with
how long before
CRISPR.
Oh, everyone's basically a mutant.
They're doing it with CRISPR, so you can do genetic modification, and the Chinese are doing that. The Chinese are, because unlike in America and Britain, where there's very tight regulations about modifying human embryos and human, like, basically what we were eventually...
Chinese just don't give a fuck.
Chinese don't care.
It's like, let's see what happens when we cross this human embryo with a bat.
They've done it with a cow. They did
it with a cow.
They did a cow and a human split. They wanted to see if it would help build up genetic resistance against genetic diseases. Seriously, no,
it's not an awful idea.
I mean, our government's done it as well. Like we did the thing where they did, they could get spider silk out of goats' teats.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember.
And they did the one where they grew an ear on the back of a mouse.
Yep.
Like that's our government is doing that.
And then just shout at it, and the mouse just like has a heart attack. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a working ear, but it's definitely the flesh of the ear.
It's because it was just, it was for if people have lost it and they wanted a prosthetic replacing it, maybe not a fully functioning one or some part of their body. It was for that, wasn't it?
I'm assuming you'd have to remove it from the mouse first.
Yes,
otherwise.
you do. No, they literally they grow it on the back of the mouse and they staple the mouse to the side of your face. And then that dies. And
then it seals onto your head, yeah.
But it's still there, and you have to live with that mouse there for the rest of your life.
You got a little mouse skeleton sticking out your ear hole.
Have you seen that thing where they basically just milk spiders?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Plus, they get clamped on a little thing.
Poor things.
Well, what's your job, Dave? I've got to pull silk over a spider's anus all day.
I'd love to see that realistic Spider-Man.
That's why they did...
just swinging from building to building from his ass. Don't worry, Mary Jane, I'm coming.
Admittedly, he'd be able to catch on to things better because he'd have all of his limbs ready to go. Rather than doing this, where you've lost a fucking arm now, what are you going to do? How can you catch the building, bitch? Fire out your ass. It's going to be much better firing out of your ass, surely.
But you know when villains catch like Spider-Man's web? Well, imagine that, but it's from his ass, and he's like,
It'd be like getting anal beads pulled out your ass. Oh, that's it, Green Goblin. That's the stuff. Oh yeah, I'm Tom Holland. I love it. Oh yeah. Tobey Maguire's like looking at it because it was only Tobey Maguire's.
Tobey Maguire's in the corner, just like. Yeah. Sorry, Toby.
I like you, like, mate, Toby. I know we're best friends, but I'm sorry. But no, it's interesting that Tobey Maguire's one had a wrist thing where actually he had the
he actually was able to shoot them.
Then they did it with what's his name?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, sorry. Andrew Garfield, and he had it with the canisters.
Yeah.
And now they've went back to the canister again because it was in the cartoon. It's a canister.
The very original Spider-Man, it was the canister.
It's a canister. It's not stupid genetic flipping wrist things.
In the comics, he's always had canisters as well.
Yeah, in the comics as well. Yeah. So he's never had it shooting out of his fucking wrists, which that freaked me out.
how could you even do that? You'd need like some weird device, and you're like, yeah,
what do you have to? I wonder what he had to eat to be able to like make that happen. And if he ate beetroot, would it turn the web pink? See, this is logistics no one ever thinks about in films. Yeah, just pink webbing. Hey, boys.
That's what I mean. That's why it would be a realistic Spider-Man. That web would have come out of his arse.
And if he ate beetroot, it'd be pink.
Yeah.
There we go. Gentleman's Debate podcast. The more you learn.
People said this, like he would like basically dislocate his shoulders every time he swung.
Yeah, even if he was super
building.
strong, it wouldn't have affected. It wouldn't have done anything. Like it would just torn his arm off clean.
Yeah.
It's like they did about
what's that, Spider? Oh no,
it's just an arm and it's bleeding profusely. Mary Jane. Anyway,
I'm gonna plug it with my silk.
Back to Bellator. I'm going to show you the event where.
Oh yeah, the Holly Holm. Not Holly Holm.
Heather
sorry,
Hardy.
Heather
It's
Hardy.
confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
HH, but I'm going to show you the bit where she basically gets her face kicked in. It's on Instagram, so if you go on Instagram, here we go. Mickey, here you go.
Okay.
You see that? That's her face there.
Oh, wow.
That's her face.
Wow.
Bloody face. Here we go. Slow motion. Yiddish.
Kind of went into it.
Yeah, she ducked down to try and punch her
Yeah.
in the face. And basically it was shin bone to nose.
I do like afterwards, though, when she is walking out of the ring, she sort of gives someone the look as if to say, fuck.
Yeah, she's got that. I mean, that face is just horrendous.
Yeah.
Her face is fucked up. It's pouring with blood. Doctor stoppage by... I think it's Kristen Williamson anyway. I think it was. But the reason why... she
We've
was.
had Kristen, Katie, and Karen Williamson.
Oh, it was Karen Williamson, thank you. Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. It's Williamson.
Any other ones?
It's Williamson.
Any other Ks you want to... Wait,
Who cares? It's not like we know. It's not like... Anyway.
don't want to put 3 Ks in there.
No, we don't.
Nope.
Anyway.
No, we do not.
Kristen Williamson. She was 0-0. Heather Hardy was 1-0. So like 1 win, 0 losses. Basically, everyone's like, oh, Heather Hardy, she's boxing, everything like that. But the thing was that Karen Williamson was a ex-amateur kickboxing champion. She was also an ex-amateur MMA. She'd fought 3 times in MMA, with 3 wins. And she's also some kind of like amateur. And she had a black belt in Taekwondo. So she had a lot of amateur preparation to go into the fight.
And how old was Karen Williamson?
I think she's like 32.
Right.
And then I think she's 32, 35. Sorry, Karen Williamson. Sorry, no, she's younger. She was like 20 something.
Yeah, because
And
Heather Hardy is
30.
34, I think I read.
Yeah, so she's had her entire career in women's boxing.
Yeah. So it seems like a strange move for me for her to
She wants to do both.
move over to MMA at that stage of her career.
She wants to do both. That's why.
I suppose it's because MMA is a very, very up and coming sport.
And
still.
also, women's boxing has gone nowhere.
Yeah.
Like women's boxing has literally. Look at Holly Holm. She transitioned to do MMA because there's no fucking money in it. That's why.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. I feel quite bad for her.
I'm glad that UFC's kind of booked the trend there.
Yeah.
Because obviously the top women's sports, there's tennis,
Soccer,
even that, it's not. It's getting bigger.
basketball, rugby. Women's rugby is actually quite good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good. Women's rugby. I mean, I think they're doing the Women's Rugby World Cup or they did it in Britain recently. Are they going to, or they have done? It was decent actually. Would they do well against the men's team? No. They get annihilated very quickly. But they do play with the men's quite often, which is why they're so good. Because that's why MMA and stuff like that. That's why they're so good.
I'm looking forward to next week. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting talking to supporting women with science, Swiss, which is at the University of York for any of our York listeners.
Is that because they wouldn't have liked the fact that we said that they'd get obliterated by the men in rugby?
Well, it's a fact.
Yeah.
So does anyone know? So does anyone want to know how to steal £60 million from a bank? Listen up. Trying to change. Trying to segue. Trying to segue into the hack attack in the Taiwanese bank.
Oh, you want to talk about that attack? Go for it.
Yeah. So basically, a week ago, some very astute hackers hacked into a bank in Taiwan, got a hold of a number of company accounts, and sent themselves $60 million.
$60 million?
$60 million.
US dollars?
Yeah. They count everything in dollars nowadays. So they sent that through there. The thing
even
is,
though it's not the strongest of the currency. It's weird.
well, no, a currency's strength is based off the amount it is in circulation.
Yeah.
Like a pound can be worth $10 million if there's only like a few of them about. So a currency circulation has nothing to do with the amount of weighting on it. The reason why the American dollar is basically the world reserve currency is because it's backed by oil.
Most of it is.
Because you go anywhere in the world, you can buy oil.
Isn't there like a weird statistic about how much that's in circulation that it's actually fake?
Oh yeah, massive thing in Costa Rica, Mexico, and stuff like that. They
print fake
about
money.
$20 billion of money laundering a year or something like that. And some of them are so precise.
Russia does it as well. Russia used to do it. So the Soviet Union used to churn out loads of fake money. What they tried to do is create an economic crash for the capitalist system.
Because it's inflation. The more money you print.
Yeah, they tried to crash it. So what they were doing was the Russian state basically created loads of fake companies, and then basically would do lots of. They try to create a stock crash by basically buying as much stocks in with these fake companies. Or not fake, they did exist. They were real companies that they owned. And then what they would do is they'd sell them all at the exact same time and cause an artificial crash almost worked. But the American basically, apparently, the CIA got wind of this and was able to insulate against it and froze the assets of some of the companies so they couldn't sell their shares. So they just prevented it. It's interesting, though.
You could do that. You could do that with a market. You can manipulate. You can basically, let's say, if me, you, and Sam had about 100 billion in assets.
Well, we could only wish.
And we just sold it all instantly. The prices of multiple companies that we had would just be flooded in the market, so they would just drop immediately.
So, like, if we
sold it especially undervalue, if I had a Apple stock and I sold it for $10.
I think the way I'd put it is, if we all had this, let's say an nth amount of number, so an unlimited amount of money, we went and bought all the microwaves in the UK. Bought all of them, and we became basically in charge of all the microwaves in the market. But there's like other people still inside of the market making microwaves, and they were trying to still make profit. And then we went, you know what, fuck it, and we sold all of our microwaves at the bang same time at much lower prices than our competitors. The price would just tank straight down, and the competitors wouldn't be able to make any money.
You make them all out of business, and then you're the monopoly, the only ones that can make microwaves, and then you basically amp up the price to double what was before microwave, and then you have a monopoly then.
Yeah,
because all your competitors, and then you create barriers to entry in the market. So that means that microwaves is a bad example for it, but other competitors find it very difficult to get into the market.
Did you literally just? Was that the first
pulled
thing
out my arse? Yeah,
microwaves.
Yeah, microwaves.
You could do it with oil quite easily.
I just put it into terms of people to understand on the podcast.
Yeah, that's what America did with the dumping a shitload of oil in the market.
Yeah, they did that to fuck over Russia.
Yeah, which
people
in turn fucked over Venezuela.
You don't use a microwave as often as what you would think you use a microwave for.
Right,
that didn't make any sense.
What the fuck do you use it for?
No, you don't use a microwave as often as what you would think you would use it. How often you think you would use it.
Right.
It depends on your level of microwave usage.
Depends.
Literally my point.
Right.
So he's saying it's not. He's saying it's not a necessity. You would need to do it with something like toilet paper.
Yeah, you need toilet paper.
Yeah.
I do look that. That was it.
But something that's very hard to create.
An episode of Supernatural, I think it was, where it was like they potential spoilers if you haven't got to this point in Supernatural. But
you might spoil it for me as well.
Well, just do it.
Where they sort of they jump forward in the future, sort of. They don't actually do it, but it's like they go forward to this post-apocalypse thing, and one of them turns around and just says, "Oh, by the way, when you get back, hoard toilet paper."
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's not a big spoiler.
No, it's not a big spoiler.
I love it if everyone just goes mental. What do you mean, toilet paper? Ah! But seriously,
no, we don't have those little like French things that.
Well, yeah, when you think,
or you could do the demolition man.
In a post-apocalyptic world, they're
Demolition
not manufacturing toilet paper anymore. You don't want to use leaves.
Salt would be very, very useful in the post-apocalyptic world.
You know what
you can store food in it. You can use it to rub it in your wounds to disinfect stuff. It's like really.
You know, it would be good in a post-apocalyptic world. Gun.
Sword
could be useful.
Sword would be a lot more useful.
That could be useful.
Would you say a sword more than a gun?
Yeah.
Well, are we talking? What kind of apocalypse are we talking? Are we talking zombie? If we're talking zombie,
then definitely sword.
I don't know. I don't want
too
too close. Yeah.
Right, when you think
is it the zombies
no.
that infect your eyes and then you're fucked, or is it the zombies?
What kind of zombies? We need to clarify zombie.
You have to Walking Dead zombie. Kind of like you kill it, and then when you're dead, you're
or
alive.
28 days later zombie. Because 28 days later, I want a gun.
Yeah, those fuckers are fun.
Because you need to hit them at
I Am
range.
Legend zombies. Those things are fucking ridiculous.
The problem is though, like a lot, you say about a gun and everything. If you're in England, they're a lot harder to come by.
Oh, very hard to come by.
If you not very hard, but a lot harder than if you're in.
Have you seen Hot Fuzz?
Compared to America, yes.
Compared to America,
it's very hard.
You got to forget, if you just pick up a gun and you've got a zombie coming at you and you try and shoot it, you're probably going to miss unless you've had prior weapons training.
I have the ultimate place you need to go for some zombie survival.
Well, don't tell people.
Why not?
Because they're all going to go there and then kill them.
It's not one local place. It's multiple places.
Right, go on then.
But it's the same type of place. Probably. Cruise ship.
A cruise ship? No, you don't want to do a cruise ship.
You don't want to do a cruise ship.
No, you do not want to do a cruise ship.
It is literally the best place.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You don't have any fresh water. You need fresh water.
It's got filters on the boat, and you can store
this is saying
5,000 liters of water in a massive container.
Also, if
those big cruise
any
ships go
infected
across
person,
the Atlantic,
any infected person gets on it, you're sealed in with them.
Yep.
No.
Second, food storage. you have food storage, yes,
Yeah.
but you will run out of food.
No, but you're close to the shore, so you've actually got that like built-in fortress. You've got loads of guns out to protect it, and then you've got scouting parties.
So right, okay, so what you need actually is a battleship.
No, why
So
would you need a
you
battleship? No, you'd need like living quarters and stuff like that. And the thing is, if
Battleships
you're on a
have living
cruise ship,
quarters.
right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
See,
And
an aircraft
let's
carrier is
say- let's say
perfect.
scenario, what happened in Walking Dead when in that prison, someone basically turned in the middle of the night and went to kill everyone.
Yes, but The Walking Dead is garbage.
You've got cabins in ships. That means that if someone dies, they're locked into that place.
Not all of them.
They're separated.
Not all
And what
of them.
happens if you fall into the water?
Well, goodbye. It was nice to know you, John. Fuck you.
No, also they're going to have people who are going to try and get on the ship.
Yep.
So like Somali pirate style. No, you have to
Yeah,
kill.
but you've got M16.
I hope you're captain now.
You've got AK-47s. You're there shooting
Right,
them.
so no,
You've
so
got
what
like
you need is you need a cruise
defendable
ship.
base.
You need a cruise
How
ship.
many
with a shit ton of
AK-47s do you
guns.
come by in York?
Pardon? You get a 3D printer. You can print an actual magazine card.
Fucking hell.
What kind of zombie
Right, this is
apocalypse are
terrible.
you in?
Right, why don't I just 3D print
Mate, just
my
go
fucking
down to your
castles?
3D printer store.
No, you can
is
actually.
ridiculous.
They figured it out. Like it's you can. What's the thing called? That it's like the most important part of a weapon. You would know this.
The most important part of a weapon,
Yeah,
as in a gun.
yeah, within the gun, like an AK-47, for example.
There's a lot of
The
very
bit in the middle.
bit in the middle. You mean like what? The firing pin? Do you mean the compensator? Do you mean the
You know what
receiver?
I mean. The receiver.
So the bit for anyone at home who doesn't know what a fucking receiver is, basically it's the bit that actually would receive the punishment of the weapon. So basically, when you fire the projectile out, the receiver would basically push back to be able to pull into the next. It pushes back to absorb the recoil and pull the next bullet into position, and then locks forward.
Yeah, you can 3D print that now. You can make your own AR-15 if you want. If you've got.
Yeah, but you
3D
need
printer.
ammunition. You
Pardon?
can't just buy ammunition.
Exactly. You get one of those miniature print. What's the word?
You print it, man. You print the ammunition.
There's like a mold injection mold thing. You can
Oh,
print
for
weapons
God's
off.
sake.
That was
Right.
on The Walking Dead
Mickey.
as well.
Mickey.
That was on The Walking Dead.
Mickey. You can't.
So how would Somali pirates get to you? If they-
Slimani.
Right, Somali pirates.
Go on.
Somali pirates would get like you'd have the issue you've got.
And they don't
always-
have any guns, so they're gonna club you to death with their
Right.
fucking.
That's racist.
Baseball
Zombie,
bat.
zombie apocalypse, mate. It's a zombie apocalypse. You've got.
That's
you've,
not racist.
You've got two because you said you haven't got guns. Of course, Somali pirates have got guns.
That's
Well,
racist.
so you don't.
Oh god, this has descended into chaos.
But like what I'm saying is like you've got two issues really. What you or maybe three, okay, that you've got with surviving a zombie apocalypse. You've got the zombies that are trying to
Yeah.
kill you and eat you.
Yeah.
You've got other people because people are assholes, as The Walking Dead has proved multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. So
And then
you're
the
on a cruise
third-
ship and you're
the
protecting
third,
yourself
no, the
from
third
that
is you
shit.
need natural resources to survive.
You've
So you
got
need water and
cocktails.
food.
You need fish as well. You
You've
can go
got
fishing.
cocktails.
Oh my god.
Did you just say cocktails?
Fuck yeah, there's a bar. Fuck. I want to live in style.
God. Right, how many
be
people
great.
are going to be like a big cruise ship? We're talking.
Yeah.
Big. How many
Yeah,
people are
yeah,
you going to have on there?
Like I don't know, 100.
No, I had 10. I would just have 10.
10
more. If you have too many, there'll be an uprising against you as a leader, and you'll be killed.
No,
instantly.
because there's like CCTV everywhere, so I'm gonna make it like
Oh my
Big Brother.
fucking God, I like how every time we pick a hole in it, he puts another like. Oh, you could 3D print a gun, man.
Wait,
Shut up.
there's CCTV in cruise ships.
Shut up.
What? Shut up. You can
You can't
you can 3D
fucking-
print a gun. You can
What
Google
happens
that.
when
John.
they
Yes,
all
you
invade?
can. You can, but there's not a 3D printer on the fucking cruise ship with a
There's
program.
a shitload
to
of 3D
a
printers
gun.
all over the world.
Oh
you can
my
just fucking
God.
find one.
Oh, this
You
is
can-
the most annoying thing in
You
the
can
world.
Google it.
Amazon's still working the zombie apocalypse. Just get an army of Amazon
What-
drones.
okay, so what would you do then?
That's all you
What
need.
would I do?
You would die because you're not in a cruise ship.
I wouldn't be I wouldn't be dumb enough to go on a cruise ship. I think the cruise ship is a really bad idea.
I think you are.
I wouldn't
no,
go into the
I think
sea.
you're so
When you
wrong.
think about it, the centre of York would be a great
no, it wouldn't.
too big,
for the,
Too many
for the
people.
zombie apocalypse.
No.
too big
No, but
to
you
actually
literally
defend.
have some big fucking walls around, and you can block off the.
So all the people who are inside of your walls.
If you were able
Also,
to clear it out,
you'd have to murder
would have to
everyone.
murder a
you'd have
shit
to
ton
you
of
have to kill
people.
innocent people.
so
You would have Griffith's Tower, I guess.
Fucking hell, mate. Jesus Christ.
it's a zombie apocalypse. It's all about
you're-
survival.
Your best bet is you need to have fresh water. You need to have a reliable food supply. You need to be in a temperature where you can't have any insects. This is one thing people don't think of because the insects, like mosquitoes and other biting insects, will spread the virus around the world. Also, you've got the problem of what kind of zombies are they? Are they the Walking Dead slow movers, or are they the fucking 28 days later ones that are like rage
they'd
virus
be the
style?
slow movers because they're actually zombies. The 28-day later ones, they're not actually zombies. They are infected.
Like rabies kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, zombies are the undead. So they are
Reanimated, aren't
reanimated
they? They died
corpses.
and then they're
So they
reanimated.
walk very slowly.
Yeah.
What about if you just create a load of like bridges between high-rise buildings?
Right.
How?
No. Keep going. Elaborate on your point. You're doing bridges on high-rise buildings.
Yeah, we all know.
So why would that be beneficial?
You block off the downstairs, and then you've got the high, and then you could go in between the buildings.
Right. So
And then you use silk out of your ass.
what? So we genetically modify ourselves?
Why is there people with
Also,
Spider-Man would
it's a
be-
really bad issue. If one of them gets infected, it would be zombie Spider-Man. Then you're fucked. Then you are fucking fucked. Also, you got the issue of if you seal the bottom, how the fuck are you gonna get down to where all the water and food is? So you don't want
He's
to
got a 3D printer.
Collect.
He prints out water.
Oh Christ! Right. So
I was going to say something.
oh my
Yeah.
God! You could just drink your piss
got
for like
me.
5 years. No, you can't do that.
He got me.
Definitely
You can
can't.
collect
Style.
rainwater on the roofs, but yeah.
Reb, you still need food.
Pardon?
You still need food.
There's
He's got a
pigeons?
3D printer.
What is the zombie pigeons in
Prints
this
out
new?
the food.
Christ. Fucking Christ.
Use a crossbow. Go to
You got
the
other people. Just eat them.
Wow. So what? Hang on. You're just a normal person who just went. You know what? Zombies have got a good idea. I'll just eat brains. Love it. Love brains. Me.
Yeah, why not?
The way you for anyone who is thinking about an actual how to survive a zombie apocalypse. This is my opinion. This is my opinion.
Then get a
of how
job
to do
because
it.
it's never going to happen.
Then just what I would do is if you have absolutely no chance of actually getting to a survivable place, I would just put a bullet in your brain straight away. There's no like, oh, if you're in New York, you are fucked. You
Yeah.
are so fucked.
Yeah.
You haven't got a chance because you're not going to get out of the city in time. You're not going to barricade.
Unless you had
the
a
military
boat.
No, not even then. You're so fucked. You are so fucked. Because
Okay, so you've got a challenge now.
so the issue
To survive in New York.
to survive in New York, try to achieve what Will Smith couldn't.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. Okay. What I'd do is I would try to get. You wouldn't be able to get out of New York first of all because they quarantine it. The military would quarantine.
No,
very
but you're saying
straight
like
away.
well, this is a
Probably just-
worldwide thing, so everyone's already dead.
Oh, so I'm just randomly survived and I'm just plopped into New York City.
You're into New York, and the infection spread around the world instantaneously. So there's no quarantine, none of that bullshit. You just have to get your ass out of New York and probably go to Canada.
Do you know how I would do it? How I'd get out of New York? Subway systems.
No,
Yeah,
you
subway
get
system.
killed.
But I know I can control that.
You're
But
in a
on the
fucking
street-
subway car
on the
with
street,
a fucking load of
I'll
zombies.
tell you why. On the streets, I'll tell you why.
That is the worst
Because on the
idea
streets,
I've
they're
ever
going to
heard.
hunt. That's where they're going to hunt. They're going to hunt on the streets. There's no food or water in the subway system, is there?
There's also a shit ton of zombies everywhere.
How do you? Yeah, on the streets. They're
And how
hunting.
can you
Yeah,
operate
they'd
the
also be
flipping
down in the
tubes?
subway
How
as
can
Why
well.
would they be down
How
in the
can you
subways?
operate the subway car? You're just gonna jump in one. I'm like, I'm gonna put the power
There's
on
a
this
button.
thing.
There's a button.
And it's just connected to power. And
it's a big
I'm just gonna be like,
button.
I'm gonna use this subway train. And if there's a zombie that comes within that doorway, I have to kill it or I cannot escape.
Yeah.
That is the worst.
No,
that is. Are you teaching people?
All right, how would you
This
get
is
out?
how you would
How
die
would you
in a
get out?
zombie
How
apocalypse.
would you get out of New York if you fucking were plopped in there?
Don't turn this on me. You said the tube station. You just killed about 1,000 listeners who, when the zombie apocalypse inevitably comes,
Look,
go
all
to
I'm
the
saying-
fucking tube station.
I didn't actually say I'm about getting on the train. By the way, I was saying just walk out along the tunnel.
Yeah,
There's
just
so
go
many-
for a
pitch
casual
black.
stroll. Well,
There's so many, and also there's a shit ton of tunnels. There's also a load of tunnels that are not even used anymore.
you do not want to be in a
sealed
confined space where you don't have your exits covered when there's zombies.
But if you're
about.
out in the middle of
That is-
out in the open, you're going to get fucking hunted down. You're going to get ranged in. Also, the streets. What you've got the problem is there's not like an air. Like if I went to Central Park, if I was actually thinking about escaping, then and I could do whatever I want, I would just call in a fucking helicopter and go to the top. But I can't do that. I have to get out my own way. I can't walk along the streets because the zombies will hunt on the streets. So I can't go along the streets. I can't fly because I haven't got any plane or helicopter. I
I'd
can't
swing
use
by my ass.
Well, you get a bunch of cranes set up.
there's one
Yeah.
surefire
Ready.
way.
Just shoot yourself in the face and go to heaven. Boom.
Get a big ass car, and then get to a boat.
Car and boat. The issue I've got with cars is...
And you know how you get a car? You've got a 3D printer.
The issue you got, though, is that everyone will have left their car in New York. So all the infected will don't drive. So they're just going to leave the cars parked in the middle of the street.
Yeah, so
you can't drive anywhere.
Street
Unless I had a massive truck with like a bulldozer.
Yeah.
But even then, like, the problem I've got is that you can't bulldoze like thousands of cars. So this is what I'm saying. Like, the tunnel system kind of it makes sense to me is because why would zombies go down there? They need to consistently keep eating food. So they're going to hunt on the streets.
No, the zombies, but they don't...
They're Walking Dead zombies, so they can go without food.
The zombies aren't actively thinking because they can't.
They're just
They can't
literally
think.
whatever comes.
But
They would literally
instincts.
sort of just be wandering, doing nothing until,
I don't think they'd
until
be
a human would
wandering
pass
underground.
by.
I don't know.
They wouldn't think, well, there's no food down in the subway, so let me not go
down
down
in The Walking Dead. So in
Huh?
The Walking Dead, they hunt.
No, only when they have something within the vicinity of them.
So they come.
So if there are a load of zombies in the middle of a field in The Walking Dead, they would literally just be walking around that field doing nothing. If then you had a human,
Then they'd go into
walk
herds as well.
every now and then past them, they would then try and follow that human because that's when they see the human and go,
Yeah.
"Rah." Or if they heard a noise, they would then go after the noise.
I'm still saying I like my idea of the
tube
tunnel.
is suicide.
Yeah, the tube
All
is a really bad idea.
The cars don't look like they'll pan out.
You can't fly.
You can't walk.
Can't walk on the streets.
Get a push bike.
You
No,
can
that's
zip
no
line.
protection.
Have you seen The Dark Knight?
Yeah, that means I need a friend with a plane.
Why?
If I just put a fucking balloon up in the sky and just went, well, I'm just going to have to wait
No,
for...
not that part. At the start of The Dark Knight, when the Joker gets the bank and they're basically going from one building to another with a grappling thing.
They
No,
run out.
zip line.
Yeah, the problem is you can't get
Yeah.
that back. So you could fire it once, but you don't get the grappling line back.
But then just make sure you have a lot of...
Oh my god! What I'm saying is, you don't want to be in New York, all right? You don't want to be in a built-up city. You want to be in the middle of
This
nowhere.
is an informative podcast.
That's
we
what I'm
must
saying.
figure out a way
Oh right, okay.
to
So
save people
most
if they're
people
in New
live
York. That's
most
7
peop-
million people
Right.
discounted right there. They're good man.
Most people who live in cities, you're going to have a big problem because the infection will spread so quickly.
And not even that. If the government gets wind,
They'll
that
quarantine the fucking place.
They'll not only quarantine it if they
They might
think this is going to
exterminate.
get out of
No, but
control.
if this is
bang,
happening all over
boom,
the world,
dead.
then
Yeah, I
They-
agree.
the government won't have jack all.
military. They'll send the military. Obviously, the military will go in straight away, and because they'll just go on panic station. I admit it will probably spread too quickly for them to effectively quarantine it. However, there will be a point where the military will become aggressive towards the civilian population because of the infection. You've also got the issue of the military are going to get infected as well. So you're going to have this entire scenario.
tank wielding zombies.
Well, maybe not tank, but they're going to be wearing like body armor and shit like that as well.
If you had a tank, the thing is with zombies, you'd be absolutely fine.
You'd need fuel and ammunition and water and food.
No, I'm saying if you're in a city and you're in a tank, they could do jack shit to you.
But but you'd be trapped inside of there, like in the beginning
No,
of
but
fucking
if-
Walking Dead.
No, if
he gets trapped in there and then they have to
will change
eventually help
because he
him.
doesn't have any gas. If you could actually move that thing, you'd be
Oh
fine.
my god! Yeah, but even if then they just follow you. They just keep following because they'll be like, "Oh, there's a moving object." I'm
No,
going to
because
follow
a
that
tank
it
can
has
go
food."
40 kilometers an hour in M1 Abrams.
Yeah, but it can't roll through like roadblocks and it can't roll
Oh,
through.
it can fucking roll through
Yeah, but
fucking
what I'm
anything
saying
it
is,
wants.
there's
It's
going to be
60
a point.
tons.
Yeah, but also they consume fuel at a fantastic rate.
Oh yeah, it's like 5 miles a gallon.
So you could get. So if you had a
5 miles
full
gallon,
tank,
something
you
like
wouldn't get very far inside of New York. If you're in the
that. Oh
center
no,
of New
you
York,
could.
you wouldn't.
They've
get
got
out
a
of New York.
massive fuel tank. It's like hundreds of gallons. You'd be able to. You
You
make
wouldn't
it
get
like
out. You wouldn't get out of New
10
York.
miles.
I don't think you get out in New York. New York's a giant city. I think a boat option is an interesting one, but the problem then you've got.
It depends where in the city you are. If you're near the docks and you can get to a boat, then you would, because the zombies can't swim. If you're dead in the center, if you're in Central Park,
Yeah, you're fucked. You are so fucked
you would be fucked.
because they just swarm you. Anyway, that was
I just put out this article from The Guardian
the article from the Guardian. Yeah.
that apparently Bristol City Council is ready for an undead invasion.
So hang on. So the Guardian. So the article is Bristol City in the UK is ready for a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Go on, read it out.
Outlining what's going to happen. So, ambient zombie level, business as usual, but telltale signs.
Ambient zombie level. Is that like people getting infected?
I think that's people on their phones, yeah.
Enhanced activity level. Confirmed zombie attack on the populace.
Confirmed zombie attack on the populace, right?
Major outbreak. Zombie infection level in excess of 1%. Multiple sightings across the city.
Right.
Zombie pandemic level. Concentrated outbreak with infection levels over 30%.
Right, so they've got a plan. So Bristol City, probably people can't hear Josh, unfortunately. We'll get you a microphone next time, okay? Is that Bristol City Council in the UK have got a zombie plan, and it sounds like it's basically dependent on the severity of zombies, of how many zombies there are. And their response to the first one is ambient zombie level is just it doesn't matter. Yeah, people are getting infected. Fuck it. Greg's is still open. Fuck it. Who cares? People need pasties. And then
B. Go for the head method.
Go for the head method. Like it. Good old Bristol.
Fully disconnect the brainstem from the body.
I love that. Wait, stop. I love how they clinically put remove the brain stem from the body. Oh, that's a chilling thing to say.
Wouldn't you have to go in the actual spine and pull it out?
Do it Predator style.
Because the brainstem goes all, like, it connects all the nervous system at
You
the
have to
back
do it
there.
Predator style and just rip the spines clean out.
Damn.
You just see a bunch of people in Bristol going, "Who are?" and then ripping people's fucking spines out. He's got a zombie apocalypse in his there. That's how some people in Bristol talk.
Brenda, not so vigorous. Fuck off, Charles.
Fuck off, Charles.
I don't know. There's no class system in this zombie apocalypse.
No, there is not anymore. The only class is zombie and human. The dead must stay dead.
The dead must dead.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Annual training schedule is designed for officers is in place. The document reveals, to avoid public panic, this is billed as a gaming festival.
Hang on. So the last part of that was that Bristol City Council will mobilise their police force and other what are they called? Emergency services, but then they would advertise it to the general populace as it would be a game, inverted commas. Gaming festival, inverted commas. See, like when people do zombie flash mobs. Oh, that's fucking scary. Because people will be like joking, and then they got an actual zombie be like round. You'll be like, oh fuck,
It's better like, well, this guy's a method actor.
Man, this guy's taking his job seriously.
Yeah.
They're just fucking ripping each other to pieces. Oh my god.
Right,
That's scary as shit. That's scary that Bristol are like that. I didn't even finish fucking to do a Bellator. I'll just finish up. I just realised that. I'll just finish off really, like, the only thing that mattered after that was with the Gegard Mousasi, Alexander Shlemenko fight, where basically it was a bit meh, because Shlemenko hit Gegard Mousasi in the eye. His eye fucking sealed up, basically. Couldn't see very much. Had to fight on instinct and won a very, like, sketchy decision, which some people thought Shlemenko would have won. That was Bellator. UFC, I'm going to say this now, was brilliant with one really good fight. And there was a little bit of controversy as well to do with Conor McGregor, which is always going to be in the news. So I'll do that. So the Conor McGregor thing.
I saw about
so
this.
Artem Lobov is the training partner of Conor McGregor. Fights in SBG, Straight Blast Gym in Ireland. And he had a fight against, I think it was Andre Feely, who's a Team Alpha male fighter. And basically what happened was, Artem lost it, but during the fight, Conor got up off of his seat because he turned up to the event in a suit, full three-piece suit,
he would've
drink in his hand, like, "Hey, how's it going, guys?" But apparently what happened was Conor was getting up out of his seat and was shouting into the cage to Artem, saying instructions, and then Mark Goddard, the referee, was like, "No, you can't fucking do that because you're only allowed 3 men in your corner, not 4." So basically, but then Conor was like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, "Oh, sorry, mate." But that's what happened there. But then the really interesting bit that happened during the night was Darren Till beating Cowboy Cerrone and beating the fuck out of him. Like, rocked him with a massive right hand. Because Cowboy was like... Cowboy took the fight because no one else was going to... He wanted to fight, and none of the top contenders in the welterweight division wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
So he took the fight, and then Darren Till was saying, like, I don't care. I think Cowboy's fragile. I think he's old. Because Cowboy's been through some wars, and he's had some recent, like, knockout losses. So this was kind of being like his bounce back thing. And then Darren Till was like, I don't care about being the champion, I don't care, I'm just going to be the best fighter there is. And he fucking put work on Cowboy and stopped him as well. I think I've actually got the Instagram.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
I mean, his ass beat.
Cowboy's a legend of fucking MMA. He really is, but is that it? No, that's not it, sorry. I'll bring up the actual Instagram post. Here we go.
Cowboy.
Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Here we go.
I think you sent me this, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that Darren Till fights out of Team Kuban in Liverpool. One of his training partners is Mike Grundy, who was a Commonwealth. I think he's a Commonwealth wrestling champion. But you can see where he fucking just puts work on Cowboy. And Cowboy's a very good striker, excellent striker. But Darren Till is just another level. Like he's trained by Richard Smith in Bad Company. I think he's trained with Richard Smith in the Bad Company gym in Leeds. But then, I mean, British MMA, Darren Till now. I mean, you got Darren Till, you got Mark Diakesa, who's from Doncaster. Both in the UFC are just performing very well. So a big congratulations to Darren Till. Commiserations for Daniel Cowboy Cerrone. But that's basically the boxing and MMA news of this week. Anything else? Or
should we funny articles?
Should we do the funny articles?
Yeah.
Josh, can you get the funny articles up for us, please? The current events, etc.
It's a cruise ship. It's always a cruise ship.
It's not a fucking cruise ship. You can't do it on a cruise ship. I'm so mad. I'm so mad with you saying a cruise ship. I'm so fucking mad with
literally
it.
Like
I'm so mad. I'm crying. No, one of my eyes has gone really weird now. It's like tearing up. Because he's talking about fucking... Who think... It's Josh, right? Right, independent thing. Right, we're going to ask Josh Simpson here. Josh Simpson of York Video Pro, at York Video Pro. Hit him up for videography and photography, guys and girls. Cruise ship, zombie apocalypse, yes or no?
No.
Fucking shut up, Mickey.
betrayed. What about the viewers will back me up on this?
Well,
The viewers
Yeah,
will back me up.
actually, viewers, give us a comment.
I want a comment
Let us know what you
just
think
let us know
about
what you think.
Mickey's
It's
atrocious
You're at sea.
cruise ship
You've
idea.
got water all around you.
Have you ever seen Fear the Walking Dead? The Walking Dead spin-off?
No.
Neither have I, because it's absolute shite. But in the second series, they go on a boat, and it does not end well.
Okay, so what Josh...
Is it a boat or a cruise ship?
Well, it's a boat.
It's a boat. It's a boat. It's not a cruise ship.
You know that
It's
they
on
are
the
all
water.
classified as boats.
No, but there's a difference between a boat and a fucking floating fortress that you can defend, has food, has...
I'm going to stop you there.
Living quarters.
What you want to do is you want a fucking oil rig.
No, you don't.
Yes, because that's a fucking fixed position that you don't need to sail around.
And what
with.
if there's fucking zombies on that? Where the fuck
What
you
about
go?
if there's zombies on the fucking cruise ship,
Yeah,
Mickey?
no, but you've got like doors and compartments and stuff in cruise ships.
You've got doors and compartments in a fucking oil rig.
Yeah, but where do you get
You've
food?
You've got a helicopter pad.
Oh, so you're gonna have helicopters in a zombie apocalypse now?
You're going to have a fucking cruise ship.
you bellend.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be shitloads of cruise ships about.
Oh yeah, they're just lying
Oil
around.
rig.
We're in York, you bellend. The closest cruise place that's here is Hull, and I don't want to go to Hull. That's
not
worse
far.
than a zombie apocalypse. Oh, if anyone's listening from Hull, sorry.
You won't be next week.
We've actually, interestingly, we have quite a few listeners in Grimsby. I've been to Grimsby on holiday.
I
Wouldn't recommend.
and we don't have those listeners
well
in
lost
Grimsby
all Grimsby
anymore.
listeners.
Where else do we have listeners?
We had them in Bratislava. We have some in Lithuania.
I've been in Lithuania.
Have you? What was it like? Was it good?
I haven't actually been to
You've not been to Lithuania? No.
That was a joke.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Sam, you fucking pleb. Right. Funny articles, mate. Bring
Go on,
them
let's
up.
go. There's one about Spider-Man, definitely.
There's got to be one about spiderweb out your ass.
There is actually an animation called, like, Realistic Spider-Man,
Realistic Spider-Man.
and it is, coming out of his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. We need to sort you out with a mic so we can get you get that done. Cool. So what have you got?
So the first one is driver gets tasered after racetrack mayhem.
Driver gets tasered after racetrack mayhem.
Yep.
Okay.
So Sean Cullen was tasered at the Anderson Speedway track.
Can you play us the video? Is there a video for it?
Yep, there is.
Can you turn the computer around and show us? Okay, so if you Google this now, you'll probably find it. Just click the... Oh, it's doing something.
Here we go.
Some skills from Josh there.
Oh, it's like with a... they wiped out. Oh, they're weird looking cars, aren't they? They're like the
It's like
American style
Demolition
cars.
Derby kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah.
What are they doing? Oh, he's driving over it. So they wiped out, and then there's a black car that's driving over to the kind of orange and black car.
Oh, this is going to be a fight.
Oh shit! Someone's gonna get this. Someone's going down. He's mad. Oh, he's doing donuts.
He's going to ram him.
He's going over.
He's going to ram him.
He's not going to ram him, is he? He shouldn't ram him. Yep, he just. Oh my god! He's driving over him. Oh my god! He rammed him and then drove over the fucking car. Oh, the guy in the orange one's got out of his car.
No, there's going to be a fight.
Oh, there's going to be a fight here.
Why did they take their helmets off? They would be so much better with helmets on.
Oh my god, he's reaching into the guy who's driven on top of his car.
Why did he drive on top of the car?
I have no idea. I think he did it by accident. Oh, yeah, I think he's punching him he's punching. Yes, he's trying to punch him whilst he's in the car. He's going
the guys next to him.
Hell.
The guys next to him are like, oh, yeah,
Oh my god.
Let it play out. Let it play out, Dave.
Yeah, I like how the track officials are like, no, just leave him to it. Just leave him to
To be
it.
fair, he did just run over his car.
Yeah. Oh, the police officers come over.
And there's the taser.
And there's the taser.
He just dropped like a sack of potato.
Oh my god. Tase the fuck out of him.
Oh.
Shit. That's scary, man. Imagine somebody just drives a car over you.
Damn.
It's still going.
All right. What's the next one, Josh? Oh man, imagine that. You just try to run somebody's car over and you fucking just get tased the fuck out of. It was the guy who got out of the car who started punching him. That's who got tased, not the guy who run the car over him.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's got away with it, hasn't he? He's like, haha, bitch, you got
He's been
tased.
punched in the face a couple of
Excuse,
times.
my foot slipped.
Well, the best bit is he didn't get punched in the face because he's wearing a helmet.
Yeah, true.
He kept his helmet on when you were saying.
Yeah, why do people take their helmets off when there's race car fights and stuff? Keep that fuck. You can nut someone with a helmet on.
I've seen it where somebody
Probably
took
kill
it
them.
off and used it like a weapon, like
Yeah.
a club, and they just
Ooh.
slam it. Like I saw it where remember
brutal.
the Top Gear did a thing about NASCAR,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it showed one of the fights they used to have, and the guy was swinging it, like smacking it into this guy's head. I was like, fuck
Ooh,
me.
That must be brutal.
I like how the instrument to keep people safe is being used to bludgeon them to death. It's horrific, that one.
Do you think they sell it to NASCAR drivers thinking this has got titanium plating?
This will
would really-
fuck anybody. This is made of lead. It's made of the densest metal we can find. Next article.
So, woman buys apology cake for officer, reading, sorry I tried to bite you.
Woman buys apology cake for a police officer, and the cake says, sorry I tried to bite you.
Was this before or after the lawsuit?
And did he then go to a cruise ship?
Oh, there's a photo of her with the officer holding the cake.
What?
Why is she pouting? Also, I would have fucking, you know what? If I was the police officer, I would have pied her with it.
He's got.
I would have just went pop and then popped it on her face.
The police officer's
Bite
there.
that bitch.
Police officer's there, just like really nervous in that picture. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna bite me.
Do you think that's where the term
again.
pied came from?
Maybe. Yeah, that's where it does come from.
Yeah.
Pied, where you do that. Remember, I didn't show this. Like, did I tell you about it? Where Chris Eubank Senior pied off.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually. I don't think we talked about this specific bit because it sparked off an entire fucking Twitter debate.
Yeah, because it was Lily Allen, wasn't
Yes,
it? Who should
it's
have
fucking
really what she should have
bad.
done is just shut the
So
fuck up.
context here was after Chris Eubank's win at the World Super Series of Boxing.
Yeah.
He was talking to the announcer, like he was doing his post-fight kind of speech.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Monologue even, and then in the background 2 of the ring girls tried to get into the shot, and then his dad, Chris Eubank Senior, went no, and then waved them out, and then he
yeah.
Chris Eubank Jr. tweeted, haha, you got pied off by my dad or something like
Yeah,
that. My
it's just
dad's
like-
amazing at pieing girls off.
Yeah.
And then Lily Allen went commented on him and saying like, oh, they're just trying to do their job, and then said he was chauvinistic or misogynistic, one of the two. I don't know which one.
Just ridiculous.
And then what did she say? Then she said something about, then she went fucking really personal.
She said something about, oh yeah, but your dad sold you when you were young or something like that.
Yeah, your dad gave you away to a
Gave you
stranger.
away, yeah.
What?
Out of nothing, yeah.
Earlier. No,
Your dad gave
what
you
did he
away
say?
to a
No,
stranger.
sorry, wait. So then Chris Eubank Jr. came back when she said, you misogynistic or chauvinistic pig, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh, at least my career's not over, or something like that. At least my career Is I think
Why
he said
is there
something
these
like that.
petty Twitter wars?
And then she came back and said, she said about, at least my parents didn't give me to a complete stranger. Then that's when Chris Eubank Jr. went, well, at least I don't take a shit ton of drugs. And this, like other stuff. And then she went, like some people deal with depression. And I think she tried to kind of virtue her way out of it by saying that she's like an advocate for against depression and everything like that. But to be honest, you shouldn't have really. You don't start it with somebody who. And I mean, admittedly, Chris Eubank Jr. is quite a stoic person, but when he's fucking angry, when he's like that, he is fucking savage.
I don't blame him, really. Like,
we didn't cover this in the. I wanted to. We should have covered this.
There was literally no reason why she should have said anything there at all. What Eubank actually uploaded was quite clearly.
It's a joke.
It was
satire.
a joke. Yeah, because he said it was
things
basically
get taken out of context because what she saw was something different to what actually happened within the context itself.
Not really.
It's not even Chris Eubank Jr. who did it. It's Chris Eubank Sr. So she should be pointing her guns of chauvinism and misogyny towards Chris Eubank Sr. Thank you very much.
And it wasn't misogynistic at all. That word gets thrown around too often.
This is what I'm saying, because if you played the video of what happened, then it wasn't, but the picture was different, so she would have taken it from the picture.
No, she saw the video.
No,
so
she saw the
video, and he just went, no. He didn't like. I think basically he just wanted it so that it was his son was just the one in shot. Yeah. That's all he wanted.
Because you've seen it on previous fights where the ring girls are in the background, like they're just literally looking at the camera.
They were just used to going there.
Yeah, what happened was they walked into shot, so they deliberately walked into the shot and then his dad went, no, stay out of shot, please. Like he went, no, stay out of shot.
Yeah.
No, stay out of shot, please.
Well, obviously with the Chris Eubank voice.
He went, no, this is Junior's moment. Please respect the fighter.
Yeah, and
that's basically what it was.
Because then I found out, like, apparently, like he was him and his brother or something like that was adopted.
Yeah.
By a woman in America, so that they could have dual citizenship.
Yeah.
But also, I think Chris Eubank Sr. and his wife were going through some problems as well. So it might have been that they did that so that they could.
Because I think Eubank Jr. came out and said, we might have had our family problems, but we're closer than ever now at the moment.
Yeah, they've kind of pieced it all together. So and to be honest, I think Lily Allen's family isn't exactly the most
really.
well-kept unit together.
And the thing is, like, what...
Not to pass commentary on Lily Allen. I mean, Lily Allen's a very good singer-songwriter. She made a lot of money. That's all.
Biting a police officer. I love how we segued.
We segued to it. Yeah. So it's because of the pie. We did the pie thing.
But
pied him off.
Yeah.
That's why.
But basically, Lily Allen does actually have a bit of a history of getting into Twitter spats for where it's just not warranted. And I think
is she?
Basically, I think she is just clinging on to her
polarizing thing. Is she the Katie Hopkins? Is she the new Katie Hopkins?
No, she's not.
She's
not
full of hate.
No,
Katie Hopkins is not that bad. So there we go.
Where Katie Hopkins tries to wade in on topical
stuff
news
that she doesn't have any opinion of whatsoever.
Yeah, Lily Allen seems to want to butt in randomly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
No,
I've just been like. Also, you're picking a fight with a guy who's fucking great at boxing.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
think he's probably not going to hit her.
He's not going to hit her, but if his girlfriend does.
I can kind of understand, like, from the point of view of, yes, the ring girls were just doing their job.
Yeah. Their job is to be. Yeah. They want to get exposure.
They will have been told to do that by the promoters or whoever is in charge of the ring girls.
Yeah.
They will have been told to do that, but it is all about the fighters in that.
They're the entertainers. They're the ones who put their bodies on the line.
Exactly. Yeah. So if one of the people in the fighters' corner doesn't want the ring girls in there, they have every right.
The fighter's dad and
please. Yeah.
And coach and manager.
They have every right to go, no, please don't. It's not like he didn't do it. He did it in a way that was just like, no, fuck off, what you doing, you stupid, blah, blah, blah.
He didn't say anything.
He was very respectful. Yeah. He just went, no.
He did that.
Yeah.
He just did that.
That seems fair.
He was very, So anyway, we'll go back to, what's our next funny article, please, Josh?
So the next article is...
That was a fucking hard segue, by the way.
Yeah.
Man jumps on horse's back after having 2 shots of vodka. Horse isn't having any of it.
So man jumps on the back of a horse after having 2 shots of vodka.
I think there's a picture
and the horse
in this.
doesn't want to have any of it. Oh, here we go. Oh no. So he's climbing over a fence.
I saw this earlier,
He looks like he's climbing onto a Shetland pony.
that horse is already looks like he's not.
That horse is not happy.
Why would you try this?
This horse is not happy.
He doesn't even know the horse. Like, at least buy it a drink before you
buy it a drink, like it's a date.
Before you start riding it.
I like how he's so precariously balanced on that fence. He's so precariously balanced on the fence. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at this. He's on the horse's back. He's okay.
The horse is not doing much.
The horse is thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Now the horse is going to leg it.
Oh, the horse is going to fuck him up.
And he's got no
saddle, no reins. He's just on a horse, on bareback, basically. Oh, the other horse is like going, oh no, you shouldn't have let go, mate. Oh, those other horses are like...
Oh, no, he's getting surrounded by
Oh, no! The horses are surrounding.
It's like...
There's 4 horses.
Oh, there's 5
5 horses have surrounded.
They're all like, the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing on him? Jeff, are you going to let this happen, Jeff? Jeff, you going to get this fucking white boy off of you? He's going to get fucked up.
That one on the left's going to attack him.
He's going to get fucked up. Oh, it's stalled.
And
it's buffering.
If it faded, and that's the last time we saw him.
Can you just have a look at the screen? Oh, it's playing again.
There we go.
I wonder what he's saying. He's probably immediately regretting his decision.
I would regret this.
Yeah.
Oh, the horse is moving now.
I wouldn't even attempt it.
I wouldn't go anywhere. I don't go near horses.
He's slapping it now.
Oh, don't slap the horse. Oh, God, he's going to get fucked. I like how all the horses are... It's like they're like, this is our new master. He's petting the other horse whilst on the horse. I would stop jiggling. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The horse just sprinted forwards as fast as possible. All the other horses are... Oh, my God, they've surrounded... The horses are...
If they're racking up to... Oh, God.
If they kick him, he's dead.
Yep.
They're angry as fuck.
Leg it.
Wow. I'd run it. I'd run for it.
No,
Cool.
he's getting surrounded now. That horse is going to attack him now.
They're going to try and like... Have you seen it when a horse like actually tries to kill a person?
It's
fucking
pretty
horrendous.
Yeah, it is. They can really do some damage with those hooves.
Do we want to move on to the next one, Josh? Yeah, so I've seen it where... And the worst bit is I've seen it where they tried doing it and the horse is like... It's a male horse. The fucking dick is rock hard and it's trying to kick a guy to death. I don't know why it's trying to kick him to death. Is it trying to fuck him? Is it trying to kick him to death? Who knows? But it's the awkwardness of... Imagine getting into a fight and having a rock hard dick. It's got a massive erection going on and you're trying to fight someone.
Do you think it's like an evolutionary advantage? So imagine if you were there trying to have a fight with someone and you got a massive hard on. How much would that like put the other person off?
Well, unless they're gay.
Are you enjoying this?
You want to go? I'll get off. All 3 of them will knock you out.
Unless it's like a group of gay guys or a group of like girls that want to fuck. Then it just turns into an orgy and everybody's happy. So maybe it's like a disarming thing.
Well, have you seen that thing where people start fights in the hood and then get naked and people just run away?
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, that is quite funny.
That is literally like the go-to. If people are like, I don't like fighting, just get naked. They will run.
Right. How many articles we got left? Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Okay, what goes to us?
Pole dancing could become an Olympic event.
Pole dancing could become an Olympic event.
I can see that.
Okay.
It's actually... You have to be very, very physically fit.
One of my
do pole
friends used to
dancing.
do it, and she
Yeah.
used to have bruises all over her from the pole. At least that's what her boyfriend was called.
Oh, where he was from, you mean?
Oh, I couldn't resist that one. Sorry.
She just called... He's not actually from Poland. She just called him the pole.
The pole. I don't know.
Dreadful.
I thought that was good. I thought that was a good little
dreadful.
pun. That's a good one.
You are really enjoying.
I really like that one. I really like that one. Also, I've realised for the viewers who have seen us, they will have seen me with hair on the top
That's
of my
a good
head,
point, yeah.
and now I don't have any. Well, ladies and gents, I have a receding hairline, so I've chosen early to go bald. It's liberating. However, there are some problems. Number one, I'm always fucking cold in my head.
Yeah.
Because there's no more.
You get used to that. I
There's
used
no
to be bald.
insulation. There's
Buy
no
a
insulation.
hat.
Yeah. Second point. Buying a hat, you get fluff on your head. Especially if you've got like a bit of stubble going on. And it keeps the fluff on your head so you look like a fucking mental case. So you've got fluff on your head, like here. I'll just have fluff stuck on my head I don't know. And somebody will be looking at it and you'll see them. You know when they look at the top of your head and you're like, why the fuck are they looking at the top of my head? Like this. You're like, what the fuck are you looking at the top of my head for? This big blob of fluff is stuck on the top of your head. Third problem, getting in and out of t-shirts and jumpers is much harder. More friction.
Have you thought about kind of like using some sort of
balm to make it all waxy, and, like smooth as fuck. I don't know. I don't.
Have you thought about shaving it constantly so it's
like a white chocolate Malteser?
Yes, like a white chocolate Malteser. Thank you. But the issue is, if we get some lighting and like some good lighting lamps, the light will bounce off of my head and probably break the fucking camera.
Simon,
Yes.
how far down does the shampoo go? Like when you shower?
There's
How
plus
far do
points.
I don't shampoo anymore. I don't use shampoo. So the question was, how far do I shampoo? There's no point in using shampoo. Because like it's not like I need to keep the flowing locks luscious like the fucking L'Oreal advert. So when I see that, and they're always like, what is it the thing where they say like it's for you or something for like something
L'Oreal.
Da-da-da-da.
You're worth it.
You're worth
it or something like that. And I'm like,
It's for you.
The great thing is though, you have a shower, dry your hair, you just go.
yeah, exactly. It's
done.
Well, I don't dry my hair. I just dry my scalp.
Of course, because you have no hair.
It's good. Though old people look at me different.
More like kind of like
I'm the kind of person who steals bags.
really.
Or I'm the kind of person who'll pull a knife on
That's
them.
really like awful. Like
No, I like
they don't know that you steal bags. You just do.
I tried. Like I went
exactly.
bald. I went bald for like a month, and people do.
They judge
look at you.
They judge you. They do.
Yeah.
I like
kind of-
it. I don't have to talk to people now. They stay away. You know when you smile at old people to be like you're a nice person, you're trying to prove it. When I do it, it looks like I'm a fucking serial killer.
Well, yeah, if you do it like that.
Hello.
Should we all go bald in solidarity for a while?
No, don't go bald.
No, I'm all right.
Nah, keep your hair. Keep your hair where you can.
I've got a very, very round face. I don't think I'd look very good
I am
bald.
sorted for Halloween,
Look like
however.
a bouncy ball.
I could be Jean-Luc Picard. I could be Heisenberg. Bruce Willis. Any Bruce Willis character, really.
Kingpin.
Kingpin. Oh, that's a good one. Kingpin would be... I could get the cane and the white suit. Oh, that would be kind of cool. I kind of like that. I might do that. I was thinking about being Professor Xavier, but I'd need a wheelchair. And I don't think that's allowed, funnily enough. Yeah. So, I think we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. What we will say is, if you are watching us, please, and you've got to this point, please subscribe to keep up to date with the Gentleman's Debate podcast. And
Give
also
the video a like.
Give it a like.
And please let us know in the comments below what would you do in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse, what would you do? We need to fucking know. And we need to... Basically, we want you all to say that we're not going to go on a fucking cruise ship.
We're going to go on a cruise ship.
Right? We're not going... You can go on a cruise ship. You gay cruise. You fucking gay apocalypse gay cruise. You can do that
We're
shit.
going to have the best time.
You can
the
just
best.
get on with all your muscly Macedonian friends in a cruise ship and just go around the Mediterranean all the time with fucking techno music and oil.
That is...
I'm going to
so
retreat
racist.
to like some mountains in Scotland and just hole up there. Sam will die because, well,
Oh, no, I'd survive.
I don't know. I think I'll just commit suicide. Fuck it. Who cares? I mean, not to end on this note, but like legit. Not to end on such a depressing note.
Right, with that, it was good to see everyone.
Yes, it was. Well, we can't see them; they can see us.
It was good for you to see us.
And on the podcast, we're obviously published onto SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all the different places. We're now on a Spreaker Radio, which is a big podcasting platform. So please check us out on those. And also leave us some feedback. Leave us reviews of what you thought. If you think it was good, obviously leave a 5-star. If you didn't think it was good, then keep it
Leave
yourself.
5-star anyway.
Yeah, leave a 5-star anyway. Yeah. And also follow us on Facebook, The Gentleman's Debate Podcast, Instagram, The Gentleman's Debate, and Twitter @TGD_podcast. And also, this is being filmed by our good friend Joshua Simpson of @York Video Pro. So please hit up Josh for any of your videography and photography needs, weddings, random days when you feel hot.
Sex tapes.
Sex tapes, yeah. Let's get the York industry going again with sex tapes. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been the Gentleman's Debate. Say goodbye, Sam.
Tatty bye, everybody.
Say goodbye, Mickey.
Good day.
Say goodbye, Josh.
Bye.
See you later, motherfuckers. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.